Nico and Naomi, what did you make of all that?
Yeah, look, it very much tighter than it was yesterday. Yesterday we saw some huge gaps, Oscar putting in a blistering lap, but today that wasn't the case. First of all, well done to Lando. He clearly knew he had it in the bag. He obviously saw something in the data yesterday that gave him the confidence that it would be an easy fix. And clearly he was. He put it on pole, just 800ths of a second separating him from his teammate. And it was interesting to see as well Max putting on more downforce, and whilst he was only fourth, the gap was a lot closer than it was yesterday as well.
It's interesting because Oscar said he didn't execute things quite right, made a small mistake. That's kind of uncharacteristic for him, isn't it?
It is, yes. A couple of mistakes out there for Oscar. But then again, with Oscar, when there are mistakes, it's like one position.
Yeah.
When there's mistakes with Lando, it's 6 positions. So it's still like more, how do you say, consistency there. Huh? Nevertheless, Lando today, awesome. So brilliant. And he's on a run. He's on a flow now. And that's what makes such a difference in sports. Mentally also. When you have this flow and he's coming off the back of great racing, then it just helps. And so yeah, he's looking really good out there.
Have you seen a bit of a change then in him? Because previously, but he may well have let it get to him. He was certainly on the back foot slightly yesterday. Didn't seem to faze him today.
Yeah, let's just go by the result. So he's gaining strength and confidence, which is great. He's also said in the interviews that he's not letting all these opinions get to him anymore. He's switching them off, which is exactly what I've been trying to recommend to him also on air. Just turn everything off, dial everything down, just focus on yourself, the team, and that's it, and nothing else. And he says he's doing that, so maybe all that is working to his advantage now.
Good. Thank you, Ant. Oh, big hug then. Well-deserved hug for Lando Norris. It's great for him. You can just tell how buoyed he is by having his family around because, of course, they were there at Silverstone as well. It does make a difference, doesn't it?
I'm sure it does, and his mom is just such a wonderful character. We're getting to see more and more of her this season. It feels like she doesn't want to miss out on anything, and why would you? Because this championship battle is well and truly on, and it's going to be between him and Oscar, and it's fantastic competition out there.
And he's really pulling the support of his family and his sort of closest team around him at the moment. That's something that he's really lent into.
Yeah, perhaps. And that's important also. You need to find that balance in life when you're performing at the highest level here in sports. To have the balance with family, friends, really time off, that love and care, that environment. It's really, really valuable, which is something that I had also in my time, and it just helps so much. So he seems to be reaping the benefits from that as well, which is very nice to see. And I think what I heard also is that he worked so hard yesterday, but also across lunchtime today after the sprint race to learn from Oscar Piastri. He was looking at the data, looking exactly what was Oscar Piastri doing differently. You can look at the onboards, you look at the lines, the data, the braking, the throttle, and he really copied a lot of things.
I think he watched your Skypad actually.
And he probably watched Ant and my Skypad, and that gave him 5/10.
There you go. Take all the credit. Right, nobody has won here in Spa from 4th on the grid, and that is where Max Verstappen starts tomorrow. If anyone can break that record, it's him, isn't it?
Max did the weather effectively dictate you had to, choose a setup for the car, which isn't optimal.
Well, I was actually hoping it would actually help the driving feeling, just maybe a bit draggy, but it didn't do that. It just was a bit more draggy and not the right balance. So, yeah, it's a bit weird. Something, of course, that we need to look into because I felt like that whole qualifying I couldn't really push. And around here at Spa, you need to be committed on entry. You want the car to rotate, and I couldn't do that basically.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you tried something different with the tires. I think on the last
yeah,
round, Q3 didn't have the grip. Is it a big difference starting fourth as opposed to third potentially?
I would have liked to start third. I mean, that was probably our position today, but in Q3 it just didn't come together.
What about just finally, at least you've chosen the setup for the wets. A lot could happen. Could be a pretty eventful race.
I mean, in the wet around here, it's always very tricky. Also, we have to wait and see how much rain is going to fall. So ideally, of course, I would like to at least be P3. Fighting the McLarens will be very hard, but yeah, anything can happen.
Good luck tomorrow. Thank you.
So all eyes to the sky tomorrow because, the rain will dictate a lot come the race. Was he sort of left in no other position than to change the downforce levels of his car? Was that something he had to do you think?
Yeah, Red Bull had to do that because of the rain forecast. And what they saw in Silverstone, they had quite low downforce and lost out in the rain. Max made a mistake because the car was just so hard to drive, so they had to do that looking towards tomorrow. And when you do that and make such a big change just before qualifying, some unexpected things can happen, and that's what Max said, caught him out, that the balance just wasn't quite right. So yes, you're going slower on the straights, but usually then you should make it all up again in the corners. But if the balance isn't right, you can't make it up again. And that's what happened to him. And plus, we saw uncharacteristic.
I mean, we would definitely prefer a dry race, considering our race pace and our starting position. Because we would like to score some points. But you know, I take what comes to me.
Good luck. Well, we heard you over the course of the weekend talking quite a bit about finding the right compromise. Set up for that today?
Honestly, yeah. I think the car was in the best place it's been. Just tiny mistakes, or one small mistake, to be honest, that cost a bit of lap time, and when the margins, I mean, you know, P5 is a tenth and a half away or whatever it is, so it's frustrating because obviously we're all trying to find the perfect lap. Around here it's tough because it's a long lap, and you know, you can just push one corner too much and slightly put more temperature in, and then you suffer the next corner, and trying to balance it out and get the perfect lap stuff. But I do feel like we missed out today, so obviously tomorrow is the important day.
Yeah. How easy is it to prepare for a day like tomorrow, potentially? I mean, a lot could happen, decisions vital and everything else. You presumably set up for the wet, you were expecting that?
I think everyone's probably taken that into consideration today, and maybe compromised a bit. Obviously tomorrow we'll find out, but at the end of the day it'll be what it'll be. I think for me, I'm not going to stress about whether it rains or not, and just try and drive as fast as I can tomorrow.
Lap one, you're talking about surviving it. I think a lot of people have that on their mind.
That's the thing is, you know, if I look back to last or a couple of weeks ago, I was almost too cautious. I knew we were going to have a quick race car, and I ended up wiping me out. So tomorrow we'll just try and make the best out of it. It's tough, you know. Rouge is going to be quick in the wet, so if it does start wet, I mean, it's going to rain tomorrow. It's just if it is at the start, but yeah, let's see. Thank you.
Well, Alan, the bad news about being a team principal is that you have to do interviews with the likes of me. The good news is that it's usually because you've had a good session. So well done. What did you make of that?
It was very good. We were a bit fed up yesterday, actually. Even though we qualified in the sprint, we qualified reasonably well. We felt we had more potential than that. So we spent a lot of time looking at what we could have done better, and certainly in tyre preparation and that sort of thing. And yeah, it paid off today.
I mean, Isaac's been on the pace. Liam's right up there with him, but Isaac's been on the pace all weekend.
Yeah, he has. He's had a, let's say, the last couple of weekends haven't gone particularly smoothly for him, but he's right back in there.
And were you tempted to do any changes for conditions tomorrow, or did you stick largely with what you had with the sprint?
Largely what we had. We made a few balance adjustments. We didn't change downforce level or anything, so we just tweaked the balance to, firstly, what the guys had in sprint qualifying, and then, of course, we had 14 laps this morning to really feel the car, so we just played with it a little bit from that.
Great stuff. Well done. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, Hadj has been on great form, hasn't he? But it's good to see Liam Lawson up there as well, his second top 10 start on the last 3 Grand Prix. What do you put it down to?
First of all, he didn't seem very happy with that. It felt like to him, he was like, there was more out there. We could have done a better job, but the gaps are so tiny. So I think that's what he's frustrated about. Just a little bit more than a tenth would have put him, you know, up there in 5th. But it really feels like, you know, he obviously hasn't had the easiest start of the year, being demoted from Red Bull. There's been a few drivers who've had to go through that. It's not an easy thing to go through, especially so early on in your Formula One career, to be demotivated like that. Now he's been at Racing Bulls for a little while. He's, you know, taken some time to get up to speed, but now it feels like he's really finding his stride, and I think he'll be able to start putting more pressure on Isaac, the rookie, who's constantly putting in good results for the team.
Yeah, and obviously a great day for Alan Payne, his first in the role as team principal. But Isaac Hadj, we've talked about him before. He just keeps delivering, doesn't he? Is he a sort of standout rookie for you, do you think?
Yeah, he's certainly one of the highlights of the year so far. Because we all knew he was fast, but you didn't expect him to deliver so consistently and just always be there. So very impressed with him. Yeah, certainly a rising star of the future. And I'd love to mention also Yuki Tsunoda today.
Well, I'm glad you did, Nico. We are going to talk about him after the break. He will hopefully join us.
Sure,
so you
I'll
can
be
tell
here.
him to his face
I'll be here.
how proud you are of him, because yeah, you were absolutely right. It was a great performance. So more on that soon. After the break, though, we will hear from Alex Albon, because that is Williams' best Grand Prix start since Vegas 2023. Skyper with Alex Albon, who ties his best ever start at Spa, P5.
Well, Alex, thanks for joining us here at the Sky Pad. Brilliant job to end up P5. You must be chuffed with that one.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good one. It felt like we were on the back foot for most of the weekends. We had a deployment issue yesterday, and then we
got
secrets are good. You know when you get a lucky headwind, a little bit of a gust, it just tucks the front in.
Yeah.
I got that in turn one.
Did you give him a tow?
Who do you ask for that? Is that a James Vowles special?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anyway, I was saying it's the first time I've done this before. So
anyway, back to the serious stuff.
Yeah,
now
okay.
that George has left us to it.
So we dropped downforce after the sprint race because we were very draggy. We were the slowest car down the straights this morning, and it just means that tyre prep becomes even more important because you slide the tyre more when you drop downforce. It was really hard for us to get the full lap. It was really easy to go quicker at the beginning of the lap, and then if you overdrove it, you would then lose the lap time kind of from like turn 10 onwards.
So speaking of which,
turn the curve.
I've seen this, you keep going for this left button. I'm just going to highlight that for the fans. This left button here, are you going to give away secrets?
No, I can tell you. I don't like running the Delta. I find that if I run the Delta, the live telemetry...
Against your own personal lap that you see.
Exactly. It takes me out of the moment of the lap. You know, when you're looking down, I think every driver does it. You look down at your lap time all the time. You do it a lot. I'm sure you do it when you do your simulator work. It distracts you, and it takes you away from the moment.
So you're saying you're taking that away?
So I take it away, and then I have this hotkey to basically turn it on, and then I turn it back off. And I normally turn it on and off only to see the wind. If I'm going into a corner, if there's a bit of a tailwind or I've got a bit of a circulation or tow, I need to know that before I go into the corner.
You're the first driver I've ever heard do that. I've heard of mechanics and things like taping over on a young driver. I've never heard of an F1 driver purposely toggling your reference lap time on and off. Amazing. Yeah. It looks like the car was pretty decent in the slow speed corners.
Yes.
You got turn one really well sorted, and the final chicane as well. In the medium speed corners, it looks a little bit light. Turn 5, 12, 13.
We see that with the top teams. We see that where the top teams are really strong are in these what we call high yaw corners, so where there's a lot of combined driving styles. In low speed, you basically brake straight and you V it and you're straight on exit, and that's where we're quite strong as a team. We need to do a better job at the medium speed, leading the McLarens through especially turn 12, turn 13. It's like a different category at the moment, but that's where we're working on. That's where our package is getting us towards our new package this weekend, but it's still not quite enough yet.
Thanks so much, Alex. A brilliant insight. I'm sure the fans would appreciate that as well. And best of luck for the race tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Andy. Thank you, guys.
Lovely bloke, but also just so fascinating to hear that actually he'd rather not know, because in some ways it makes it less instinctive on the lap. Can you relate to that at all?
Yeah, sure. Because if I remember back, I'm like constantly, even during a quali lap, constantly looking at this delta time all the time, which perhaps is a bit unnecessary, because it just is an unnecessary waste of concentration. But then for him to have a button to switch it on all the time, that's the weird part.
That's more of a distraction, isn't it?
Yeah, especially then for him to switch it on so he understands where the wind is coming from, that doesn't make sense to me. So not sure what he's got going on there.
I was trying to think of how someone at home might be able to relate to what that's like. And I was thinking I think of when I do intervals on a treadmill, and let's say it's a 1 minute sprint, and you just don't want to look down at the time because you don't want to get bogged down, and you focus your energy on the time, and then all of a sudden you get lost in the moment. And I think that's kind of similar to that. Just focus on what you're doing and look at the times later.
I know exactly what you mean, because then when you do look down, you go, oh, I did rather well there.
Oh no, I usually go, oops, still 30 seconds to go or whatever, and then you get bogged down.
Let's bring in our guest, Yuki Tsunoda. What a day for him. Yuki, come on up. How are you, and how do you reflect on that qualifying session? He's just having a little handshake. That's all right.
Thanks,
all the notes I've been scribbling down about you. This is great. Your first Q3 appearance here at Spa.
Yeah, much more enjoyable session than previous races. Yeah, I mean, big thanks to the team. They brought me in a really last moment upgrades for for the floor, which was big enough to be in a position that bit different to other races. But yeah, big thanks to the team.
Is it just the upgrade, or are you also feeling more comfortable now and able to extract more out of the car there?
I mean, it's hard to say, but upgrade was definitely a big step, which we knew already. And since previous races, on the paper at least, we knew that we were in the right direction in terms of just paper. The gap was getting closer and closer. So I'm happy that I'm able to prove it, and yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Yuki, just for those at home who don't know, it sounds like that floor upgrade that you've received was after the sprint race, so between the sprint race and qualifying, which is very late in the day to receive an upgrade. And also, you know, it feels like for multiple races, I think almost since Imola, you haven't really been on exactly the same package as Max. So can you give us a little bit of understanding of why some of those upgrades have been late, and particularly why this floor only came sort of midway through the weekend for you?
I mean, we are pushing a lot, you know, as a team, and you know, Max is in the fighting for driver championship. Currently, I'm miles away. So, you know, which is a bit more natural. And especially like these days, it's not easy to, you know, bring the upgrades that having a difference more than you know, a tenth, which is most of the team, I guess, struggle to bring the upgrades to gain the even 100 milliseconds or 500 milliseconds these days. So, I mean, completely understandable. I just have to also focus on extracting performance from the car I get, and yeah, understanding also about car and the team is just getting better and better. So I mean, it was a good opportunity this time. Still some bits to go, but I mean, it was a big enough floor was big enough to be in this position. Was good.
So recently, of course, your team principal has changed, and you worked with Laurent before at RB. Is that actually somehow also interesting for you then, a new environment, and with Laurent united again? Has that given you some positive vibes this weekend?
Yeah, it was funny because when I was in V car, you know, when I was always been Q3 from Q2, he always smiles at me from people. And I was watching him as he's smiling at me, and he was happy. He showed me that happy emotion. And exactly the same things happened today as well. You know, he smiled at me, and yeah, he shows that you know I did a good job. So, you know, those things was definitely a nice flashback from old time.
I tell you what, those things do make a difference as well. You just sometimes need that little boost, don't you? So you're going to be starting from your highest grid position with Red Bull from 7th for your 100th Grand Prix start tomorrow. I mean, I can't quite believe you're basically a veteran now, aren't you?
I know it's a bit 100 races is a bit crazy, to be honest. I feel like Abu Dhabi, Bahrain first race. My debut was feels like yesterday, not tomorrow, yesterday. But yeah, it's been a very interesting journey, but definitely these 5 years gave me a lot of step forward, a lot of gain as a human, my personality as well, as also driver, of course. So yeah, this environment can be very, you know, strict and harsh, but also same time, somewhere that you can obviously experience and bring me into the level that you can not even imagine. So yeah, I just keep pushing what I can do.
Yuki, I just want to come back to the point of having a familiar face like Laurent in the team. You know, going up against Max is never an easy job, and by the sounds of things and by your predecessors, we know that this car is a very difficult car to drive. With Laurent's technical background and having worked with him at RB, how much do you think that that's going to help you in your learning curve at Red Bull, and what is exactly the target for you?
Well, for now is the score points. You know, to be honest, the last time I scored points was I feel like even years. So points is definitely priority. But yeah, with Laurent, it's been, you know, always having conversation just before the session, or keep me feeding him the kind of feedback I felt in the car every time, and he suggests something to our engineering group, and that's already things that was a bit different. So those things kind of boost a bit more confidence to our team, and make sure we're in the same page with overall group. So those things is very small, but it counts, especially these days that we're fighting for very, very small gaps. So looking forward to working with Laurent, and yeah, definitely Helmut.
One more personal thing. I'm going for a longer trip through Japan with my family, so I'd love to have advice.
Which
after
part?
The weekend, starting with Tokyo.
Tokyo, which dates?
In September.
September,
end of August, September.
Okay,
Can he come and stay?
Well, eat ramen for sure. I think ramen is definitely underestimated food. Obviously, sushi is big difference if you eat Europe and Japan, but ramen is also big difference. Amount of effort they put, the ramen is crazy. Like to make soup, it takes 12 hours, 24 hours. So I would like you to taste ramen. Other than that, Kyoto for sure. Kyoto is definitely, you can see a nice traditional side.
Thank you very much, Yuki. I have them shouting at me in the ear. We need to move on.
We can't wait to open your restaurant. When you open your restaurant, we're coming to eat, Yuki.
I sense you're feeling a bit homesick. Listen, I hope you go really well tomorrow. You absolutely deserve it.
Thanks for that. Thank you. Just have to finish off with a nice one smile, which is most important. So let's see.
Go for it.
Good luck.
Thanks so much, Yuki. Yeah, great stuff. Okay. Join us after the break where we're going to hear from both the Mercedes drivers.
Six, pretty satisfied. How much experimentation over the course of the weekend enabled you to get where you did today?
Definitely a better day in terms of result, but if you take out yesterday, this is our worst qualifying of the year, and Kimi obviously was out in Q1. We're just struggling for whatever reason this weekend, so we need to understand it. Maybe we're a little bit light on downforce level. We were purple sector 1, purple sector 3, but that's just a slightly different compromise. So we're scratching our heads a little bit, but P6 is not a horrendous place to start.
Is Silverstone and some of the decisions there, and you go pretty conservative tomorrow? You judge each case on its merits, I suppose, and you were talking about being light on downforce. Have you not set up for a particularly wet race?
Well, we wanted to set up for what was going to give us the fastest qualifying car. The fact is 1 tenth slower and I'd have been out in Q1, I'd have been P10 in Q3. And for us, if we went higher downforce, that would have made the car at least 1 to 1.5 tenths slower in qualifying today, which may have been 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 grid spots. So the answer is no. We had to set up for qualifying.
Worried about that? It's always
I mean, I prefer to be in P6 with a slightly compromised race car than to be down in P16. So, when you don't have the luxury of the pace, you got to find a compromise somewhere.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Kimi always bumps along the road in any first season at any level. Were you a little bit conservative today at all because of what happened yesterday?
I don't feel really. I think been lacking confidence, to be honest, today more than yesterday. Just struggling to strike the best out of the car. For sure is a bit trickier now, but just a difficult moment, to be honest, and need to find the light out of the tunnel again.
Okay, fair enough. Well, tomorrow a wet race and an awful lot can happen. I guess it's just hanging in there and waiting for opportunities. It's one of those weekends where you could go from a tough spot to a good one.
Yeah, hopefully. Hulkenberg last race, he went from P19 to P3, so it would be amazing to do the same thing. Looks like it's gonna rain, but we'll start from the pit lane just because we want to change the car, and then we'll try to build from there.
Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Well, it's a lot for the young man to process, isn't it? It's his first Q1 elimination since his debut in Australia. But if you cast your minds back, he did an incredible recovery drive there in Australia. Can he do the same again tomorrow, Nico?
Yeah, in Australia, he almost finished on the podium from way back there. He finished 4th, if I'm...
Surrounded by great people like Gwen Legru and Toto himself are able to, take a little bit of that pressure out of the bubble for him, and maybe that will help him to just ease into a little bit of that pressure out of the bubble for him, and maybe that will help him to just ease into the race tomorrow. But yeah, as you say, Australia is the perfect example. He made that mistake. He had an incredible comeback drive in really difficult conditions, so he'll be doing the rain dance, and if he can just get it right tomorrow, then you can easily turn those emotions around.
What do in Toto's case, I would sign that contract with him anyways, it's not much money. And that would give him such a boost of confidence. And then if by any chance it really goes bad towards the end of the year, you can still pay him out and make a change, you know, as we've always seen in F1. But just signing that of comfort, relaxation, time, I think that could be something interesting.
Literally put pen to paper this weekend.
Yeah, go for it. Sign the paper.
Yeah, why not?
Because it's not much money. So worst case, if everything goes wrong, you can still get out. Toto can still get out of the contract.
Yeah. Well, don't
just
tell
like
him that bit. Don't tell him that bit. Just say,
no, exactly.
Say the first part.
but it's not me too. I'm not going to be involved.
You've just done it now on telly,
Toto can do
haven't you?
that in a very positive manner, which is honest also, because he is a generational talent. We all know that.
Yeah, we certainly do. Another very talented young rookie is, of course, Gabriel Bortoleto, who got through to Q3 today, having originally been eliminated in Q1 before Lewis Hamilton got his his lap deleted. Let's hear from him now.
Hey Gabby, a bit of luck to get through obviously into the second and third part of Quali, but from there on you made the most of it. How are you feeling about making P? How are you feeling generally about the race car that you've got tomorrow? Obviously rain or shine, great spot, and it feels like you've been getting more and more comfortable. We've talked about it a lot with this car. Are you feeling comfortable about what you could do tomorrow?
Very much. I feel like I'm getting more comfortable with the car. Obviously you do more races, you learn more about what you're driving, what you need, and I feel like I'm getting in that level already that I'm more or less in the last 3 rounds already in a good place, starting the weekend, and you know, sprint weekend is never easy. And yeah, just let's see what we can achieve tomorrow. If it rains, it rains. If it's dry, we are going to give our best as well.
Have fun. Thanks.
He certainly seems very relaxed, doesn't he, Naomi? It's all about taking those opportunities when they do present themselves. So fair play to him.
Totally, I would be relaxed as well. He's in the top 10. I mean, that Sauber seems to be in a great positive momentum at the moment, whether it's him or his teammates. They're able to extract quite a lot of it, and they're really becoming this, you know, protagonist of that midfield, you know, between them, the RBs, and then the likes of Albon and Sainz, who sometimes pop in there with the Williams as well. So it's positive to see that the team are, you know, for so long we were just like, what happened to them? We didn't even know what was going on. So it's great to see them back in the picture and starting to make that change for Audi's comeback.
So perhaps there's actually a little bit of hope there for Audi's start to F1 next year, which for a long part of this season looked like there was not going to be much hope there.
Yeah, I mean, you can certainly take a lot of heart from what Nico Hülkenberg was able to do at Silverstone in conditions that may be replicated tomorrow. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. The car was performing really, really well. So maybe this weekend it's Bortoleto's turn and he can move forward from P10 where he's starting.
Okay, well, he got through from Q1 because of Lewis's penalty, having that lap deleted for exceeding track limits. Let's head back down to the Skypad.
Amazed in a way when they said, yeah, track limits turn 4, we're out of qualifying after making it through. But like I said at the time, the stewards have access to different footage than us here at the Skypad. They have the CCTV. Luckily, we have a still shot of that different view. And so for anyone that had those doubts as to where his wheels were compared to the white line and the blue, that is as clear as day, really, isn't it? So just goes to show, you look at this sport from a different angle sometimes and it tells you a very different picture, quite literally.
Thank you, Ant. Yeah, really disappointing for Lewis Hamilton. How easy is that to do, Nico?
Heartbreaking. Can you believe he's out 2 times in Q1 this weekend? It's just horrible. And then for that, I mean, I needed a microscope there to see how he was away from that white line. Incredible. Then again, you know it's there. It's part of preparation. And there's every chance to just keep it safe there and stay well within. So it's just an unnecessary big mistake. His hope is the weather tomorrow. He's the rain master, so there's still a little bit of a chance there that he can make his way forward.
I was so right to make this video after the Canada Grand Prix, where I said even though Lando crashed to Piastri and ended his own race, he did the right thing, but if you want, you can go and watch that video. Yesterday, Lando was 6/10 behind Oscar, and somehow he was very calm and he knew exactly what he did wrong. Also, he believed in himself and said that he can make up that gap for qualifying today, and for the surprise of everyone, he did. Oscar Piastri will start second, and there is a big possibility he will do to Lando what Max did to him in the sprint race. Charles Leclerc will start from 3rd. I see him losing the position to Max, then after that I think he will be in no man's land. In 4th we have Max. There is a crazy statistic for Spa that no one ever won from 4th in Spa. And if it was a dry race he could never win because the McLaren is so fast, but tomorrow it might rain a lot, so he might win, who knows. Then Alex in 5th, Russell in 6th, and Yuki in 7th. I'm really happy for him to finally get a floor upgrade and finally getting in Q3, also being closer to Max. So that's all for this video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, also remember to always drive crazy fast.